Do 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 do. Inspector Gadget. Do 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 do. Have I ever told you you're my favorite?
You're my favorite.
Just go along with all my little things.
We did start the last one with a song too, didn't we?
Did we?
Mm-hmm. And then you went rogue and started making it up, and I'm like, I don't think that's how that song goes.
It's possible. I tend to go rogue.
It is because you just made me listen to it, remember?
Oh.
And by made, I mean I wanted to listen, and I am an avid listener of our own podcast.
Uh-huh. Thank you for being so convincing.
I am. Welcome back, everyone. Do I say that every week? I feel like I do. I need to change it up.
Yeah. Hi.
Heyo.
I'm Clarissa, and now you know that because my name is in my box.
Look at our new little feature, right?
Yep.
Here.
You're so committed to doing that.
Because it's really hard to get right.
There.
Here.
It's right there. Hello, Clarissa. That's Caitlin.
I'm Caitlin.
And we are Royal
Malarkey.
Hey, look, we changed it up, finally.
Hey, here we go.
Something different. All
okay,
right.
Episode 22 today with Odo of France.
Odo.
Odo.
Recently brought to my attention that it is a name of a Star Trek character.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Something about...
I still don't know which one.
Space Nine?
Okay. I'm
Is that
just
what
not,
they said?
I'm just not that big of a...
Feel free to yell on the comments below.
Comment and let us know who the heck Odo is on Star Trek Space Nine.
We'd appreciate it. Set the record straight.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a comment. Write it down.
Oh.
Remember? I remembered things.
I have literally my outline notes that says write down any comments. But do you think that I did?
No.
Odo Star.
King of the Western Franks.
Yes, he was an elected king of the Western Franks. So if you will recall from last week, Charles the Fat died, and the kingdom splits.
Yes.
Arnulf takes Eastern Francia, and some other people take some other stuff. And I think there's a king of Italy now.
Yes.
Separate from the king of Eastern Francia, and
yep.
Odo gets elected. He is not a Carolingian, and he gets elected king of
Western Francia.
Yep.
So recap from last week. Charles the Fat was the youngest son of Louis the German and Emma. We've talked about him in several episodes. I was like,
who's Emma?
Emma. It's his mommy.
/ Emma.
Yes. He's the one that seemed to have all of the lands fall into his lap. Like people would die and he would just inherit.
Almost like he didn't want them, but he's just like, all right, now you're king of this, and now you're king of that. And
well, look at that.
Look, now you're king of all of Francia.
Must be nice to be the last one to unite everything and really just not have done much to get it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We also talked last week about Arnulf of Carintha,
who I just mentioned.
Yes, she did. He was the illegit son of Carloman of Bavaria. And as she just mentioned, he is still hanging out over in Eastern Francia. I know last week we told you about his death. That's because it was entertaining, but he's still alive.
Right now.
Yes.
And so today we're talking about Odo, who
is the Count of Paris.
Yeah, you missed a little note there.
I did. And it's right there.
Yeah. Okay.
So, uncut version YouTube. I have notes that also say, go to the next slide.
Click the slide.
It's in bold. It is underlined, and I missed it.
Just waiting. I'm like, oh, she has notes. She'll get it.
She'll get there.
Yeah.
No. So, thank you for the help.
Anytime. That's what I'm here for. Okay. Odo was the eldest son of Robert the Strong, who I can't remember if we mentioned Robert the Strong
I
or
have
not
quite a bit on him.
today.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll talk about him a little bit because Odo is the eldest son of Robert the Strong. And Odo was born in 857, but we actually just don't know a whole lot about Odo from when he was born until he gets elected king. But Clarissa has things to tell you about his father, Robert the Strong.
Do. You ready for him?
Born ready.
Count Odo's father, Robert the Great, the Strong, initially came from East Francia and moved over to West Francia because he supported the wrong ruler.
Ooh.
One of those nobles who lost the struggle during Louis the German's reign. He was rewarded by Charles the Bald. Oh, she's over there wiggling again.
Sorry, I just have to do one little wiggle and I'm done.
Completely. You lied.
I'm sorry, last wiggle, I promise.
Now my nose itches.
Okay, Robert the Strong.
Back on track, guys. Okay, so he was rewarded by Charles the Bald with lands, some of them being Nuestria, but for that, there was two reasons why he was awarded Nuestria. One was that another family was getting a little full of themselves and uppity, and Charles the Bald wanted to put them in their place by giving their lands away to someone who was running away from the Eastern Franks. And the second reason was it would help bolster the defenses of the Viking raiders. So they were still dealing with, again, Vikings. It was just going on for forever. So Robert the Strong got his nickname because of all of his, strength, borders, Viking.
He was strengthening the borders.
Yes, he sure
Look
was.
at those guns.
However, Robert would die on one of these Viking raids. Yeah. In the battle.
Vikings, man, they're brutal.
It's what?
Those Vikings, man, they're brutal.
They are. The Viking attacks at the Battle of Brisart in July of 866, leaving behind his little bitty son, Odo, at 9 years old. Yep. Odo of France. Back to Odo.
Yeah, so he does take over his father's titles when, right, I don't have this in my notes.
Oh.
But Odo takes over his father's titles when his father died, but then Charles the Fat, 2 years later at 11 years old. I'm not stealing this. You have notes. You tell them.
So I picked up on my own cue for next slide. But I did not continue speaking.
Just trying to share the spotlight. I appreciate it. But your note, go for it.
So on the downside, he lost his dad when he was 9. But on the plus side, he inherited all of his father's lands and titles. But 2 years after that,
Which
11
was,
years.
may I interrupt, please?
Yeah.
So Robert the Strong was the Duke of the Franks. He was the Marquis of Nuestria, and he was the Count of Anjou. So he had several titles.
And he got all of them. But 2 years later, at 11 years old, Charles the Bald gave it to Odo's stepbrother, Hugh the Abbot. And upon Hugh's death in 886, Odo got it all back just before his 30th birthday.
Nice.
What a good birthday present.
Wait.
Oh, it's a while. I mean, 11 to 30? Someone math me.
19 years?
Yeah.
I'm only an accountant. It's fine.
We talk about personal stories here and there. I had to text Caitlin this week for math help.
Well, and I'm at work doing math, and I didn't see it, and so then I text you back. You never clued me in if I got you the answer on time.
No, but it was enough of an answer that I was able to work with it.
Okay.
You still saved my butt.
Okay, good.
I dragged Ryan in the room and I was like, hey, quick, what is this? And he's like, I don't even understand what you're saying. I'm like, I need
what percent this number is of this number. Yeah. I knew what you meant. I just didn't see your text immediately.
Yes. So Nuestria is the northwestern side of Francia, and it encompasses Paris. It's a little bit of Lotharingia area too, but it's a little bit more like north, like Lotharingia is in the center.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So in 882, 883-ish, Odo gets married to Theodrate
Of Troyes.
of Troyes. What am I trying to say? Questionable if they had any kids.
Yes.
There is some evidence that they had
3.
2 or 3.
Yeah.
So one being Arnulf, who may have died or may have been born around 882, but died, I think, before adulthood. They all, if any of them are real, they died before adulthood.
They didn't inherit.
Yeah, no, they were dead, I think, before Dad or shortly thereafter.
Okay.
There's another one named Raoul.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Guy.
And another one named Guy.
Mm-hmm.
Guy may have been born around 903. Or no. My notes are very confusing. He was mentioned in some kind of historical whatever around 903. And then Raoul was also mentioned, but again, none of them lived long enough to succeed.
It wasn't quite enough information for them to say, yeah, they for sure were here. They were mentioned enough to get a name, but they weren't mentioned directly in relation enough for them to say for sure this person lived, and they for sure were his sons.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
So, you ready for the siege?
Born ready.
Oh, she was born ready for the siege of Paris that
Love
happened
sieges.
in 885.
A mere... Not going to try
No.
to do that math in my head.
Don't do it. It hurts my brain to think of anyone
1,000
doing
plus years later.
So in 885 through 886, somewhere in there, he led the siege of Paris. Odo.
Odo did.
We discussed it in episode 21 during Charles the Fat's reign. Odo
He's
had
still a duke and a count and all of these things right now.
Yeah, he's not a king yet. This is during Charles the Fat reign. Just
Charles the Fat's reign.
yes. Odo had been defending the hell out of Paris and writing to Charles the Fat to send aid or come himself and help defend his city. But instead, Charles was a little too busy getting his son legitimized, which would eventually be his
You recall
fall.
he was very distracted by that.
Yes. When he did finally show up to Paris, he sent his men to Burgundy instead of Paris.
I remember this because I got confused about who lived where.
Yes. And it's because Burgundy was in revolt and he was more distracted with, 1, I need an heir, which I get it. You do. And then 2,
It is very important at this time.
it is. You seem like you've got this covered being said hero and all that, Odo. So thanks. Yeah. They only left because they were bribed to leave. So, and then again, the nobles.
Wait.
Wah,
Yeah. Go ahead.
wah.
Continue.
And then the nobles again wanted someone else to rule. Charles was booted. And so Odo was
And if we're like if I remember correctly, last week, he gets booted and then dies like 6 days later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like a whole coup that Arnulf of Carintha
Sorry, my leg itched.
assists with. That Arnulf of Carintha assisted in the coup and booted his uncle. And then Odo was in the struggle for the throne against the claim of Charles. Whoa, I jumped
We're
too
not there
far.
yet.
I'm not there. Just
See, I thought you meant... So, Siege of Paris.
Yes.
You went a little far there.
I did.
So, after the Siege of Paris,
Yes.
which ended how?
It ended by them being bribed after Charles. They were there for quite a while, like a whole season. Like I think the winter season, the Vikings just kind of stayed as Odo kept them from going other places. And Charles the Simple just paid them off to leave. So Odo was then seen as the great.
What are you doing?
I was just looking.
You went back. We rewinded and then you went back again. We're not to Charles the Simple yet. We haven't even been talking about him at all.
I meant the fat.
Okay.
There's a lot of Charleses.
It's so confusing, though.
YouTube, it's uncut. And here's the thing. You get visual assists, and you get real confused by my words. Yeah. I'm sorry. Okay. Charles the Fat. Okay. You don't even know who the other one is, so ignore that name.
We did
I won't
mention
even say it again.
in one episode, but...
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Yeah.
So, I was trying to tell you that Charles the Fat paid them off, and they left.
Yes. They paid them off, they leave, but Odo is like super famous for how he handled the siege.
Yes, he is.
So I think where you were trying to go earlier is after the siege of Paris, because he was very praised.
Mm-hmm. He's such a big hero.
Praised.
Yay.
Yeah.
Insert crowd music here.
Yes.
Clapping.
For how he handled the Vikings and the siege that, those pesky nobles, again, decide, all right, we're ready to overthrow Baldy. Nope, Fatty.
Fatty. See? There's too many.
So many. They decide, well, we're ready for Fatty. That's horrible. Charles the Fat to be booted. And so they overthrow Charles the Fat and crown Odo as king. Mm-hmm. So Odo is considered the first and I think only first king of the Robertian Dynasty. Yes. He is not a Carolingian. And he was crowned in Compiègne in February of 1888 by the Archbishop of Sens.
Would it be called a dynasty if there is only one?
Don't really know.
Does a dynasty imply that?
I feel like though every king has, they're like part of a house or they're part of a family line or like the Tudors or the.
But like at one point it was just the mayors in Francia. They didn't get a last name until people continuously ruled.
I don't.
Just wondering.
I don't know.
We could Google it. Yeah. If you guys know anything about dynasties, let us know your thoughts if you think I'm insane. Appreciate it. Comment below. Hey, I did the finger right.
Yay!
Okay, so while he was elected king of West Francia, Arnulf of Carintha took over the eastern side. We've already said that. I just,
I'm like, wasn't he already there?
Yes, he's been there. But
All right.
Those things happened at roughly the same time.
Yes. So now Odo is king.
He is. He is king.
Mm-hmm.
And yet again, the nobles, this is where I meant to say it, wanted someone else to rule. Mm-hmm. And so Odo was then in a struggle for his throne against the claim of...
Well, the thing is when you take someone that the people believe are ordained by God, like the Carolingians, even though they came, as you mentioned, from the mayors.
Yes.
But
they had enough of a connection to the Merovingian dynasty that they were able to say, yeah, we can do this.
But when you overthrow, when you start upsetting the order, meaning taking someone who the people believe are ordained by God to be there, you start upsetting the order, people get antsy. And so then it's really easy to unseat people. You don't have this like, I'm going against God fear type thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, Odo was in constant struggle with the other Frankish nobles.
They wanted to elect our next episode, Charles the Simple.
who is a Carolingian.
Yes.
So there was never really rest
No.
during Odo's reign.
Right. So, in a bit of a strategic move, Odo paid homage.
We did this last time. Paid homage?
Homage?
Or homage.
Homage. To Arnulf in Eastern Francia in 888, thinking it would help his image, try to get up there with the nobles and make everybody see him in a different life. It seems like there wasn't much of an impact, though.
Because by 894, Arnulf declared support for Charles the Simple.
Yep.
So, after a 3-year tiff,
yes,
Odo was compelled to start releasing bits of his land.
Yes.
So, you don't get to, you're king, but you don't get to rule this. You don't get to rule this. You don't get to rule this.
Yep.
He did die. And I don't know if you found out how. I did not.
I did not.
Yeah. We don't know how he died. Probably in a hunting accident.
Mm-hmm.
But he died in Le Fer on January 1st, 898. He was still king when he died.
Yes.
So he never got unseated or dethroned.
Right.
He was still king, but he was losing power very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is what
Francia looks like. So I was making my maps, but I really needed the representation of Neustria, so I had to edit someone else's a little bit. Charles the Simple's in red, and Arnulf in East Francia is in green.
Odo died, so red is what Odo had left.
Yes, this is what Charles ends up inheriting. So this is what our map looks like at the end of this episode. Post-death.
So Arnulf is Germany, so we're not going to talk about them anymore. You could even take them off the map.
He's still involved in the next one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Italy is Italy, so we won't be talking about, other than when they become relevant.
Mm-hmm.
What we decided was Switzerland over there is Rudolph II.
Yep. Louis the Blind is in Provence.
And then who we are talking about, what does become the France and the French line, is in red, Charles the Simple.
Mm-hmm.
So next week we will be talking to you about Charles the Simple.
Yes. Simple man.
Very simple, and among other things. Oh, I didn't tell you at the beginning Odo's other name.
Oh, tell me all about him. Okay, guys.
So Odo is actually the German pronunciation or Germanic pronunciation of his name. His French pronunciation is basically Eudes.
Eudes.
Eudes. Eudes.
Oh.
Eudes de France. Eudes de France. It sounds like a perfume.
Huh.
Interesting.
I like it.
Anyway.
That's cool.
So next week, Charles the Simple.
Yep. All right. Time to move on to our relevant tidbits.
Where we have a new
jingle.
Yeah.
But it's only in the podcast version because I don't have it ready to insert now.
All right. Well,
if I do, put it here.
Yeah.
At 23 minutes in.
I was pausing so you could just insert it and we can make faces.
Yeah. I hope that works out. Caitlin, write down 23 minutes.
23 minutes jingle.
Yep. Guys, we're super organized.
Okay, time for that relevant tidbit.
Yes. 12 Bizarre Medieval Trends by Francis White from livescience.com. Mm-hmm. Number 7. A beautiful
You didn't want to say any of that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Crap.
Not one piece.
Well, it's because you say so much next. I was trying to introduce it.
Sorry, I should have let you have it. Have it.
Save your breath.
All right. Number 7, a beautiful death. Yeah. People in the medieval times were very preoccupied with death, which is understandable if you consider how pious society was at the time, and also the fact that many people were falling victim to the Black Death.
Ooh.
As a result, a trend known as ars moriendi, or the art of dying, came into fashion. The idea revolved around dying a good Christian death according to the book by Austria Rhinus called Reforming the Art of Dying, written by Ashgate in 2007. The death
should be planned and peaceful.
Oh,
this is how you die a good Christian death.
Yes, but people weren't doing it according to this book. This book was written about it in 2007. That's where I got very confused. Okay. The death should be planned and peaceful. That doesn't make sense. Christians don't believe in suicide.
Nope.
What? All right. The death should be planned and peaceful, just to add further stress when you're about to pop your clogs. What? All right. Just to add further stress when you're about to pop your clogs, the dying person should, like Christ, accept their fate without despair, disbelief, impatience, pride, or avarice.
Sorry, I'm a little too impatient to die right now. Hurry up.
Dying well was particularly popular with the priesthood, which led to many of the infamous medieval paintings of monks and holy men accepting their brutal murders with calm serenity. That's it.
Huh.
Very interesting.
You know, I've seen some stuff of a couple like depictions of deaths and whatnot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Over this whole period we've been doing the podcast, and I wondered why they just looked like...
I mean, I could see the whole, like, you know, the medieval thing where, like, soldiers, or not soldiers, I guess, knights want to die in battle.
Yeah.
But normal citizens...
It's odd.
I guess, like, have... I don't know, like, composure during your death?
Yeah. It's kind of like the Vikings, and you're more likely to go to Valhalla if you
if you're a soldier, you have to die in battle to go to Valhalla.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't think you have to, but if you do, you for sure get in, right?
I don't know.
I don't remember. Those of you who watch Vikings.
Oh, I didn't mention.
Ooh.
Man.
You have so many things to tell.
They do have Odo in the show we keep talking about, the Vikings.
Oh.
Just Vikings, not the. But they do have a character named Odo, and he's like, he is a count, but it's not really very accurate of the actual Odo, but they do put him in there because they felt like he had enough influence over that time period that they have a character named Odo in seasons 3 and 4.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna have to rewatch it. Now that we're in that era, I'm gonna go watch it and be like, I know that name.
It is gonna become more relevant. Like,
yeah,
next episode too.
Yes,
Spoilers.
for sure. Mm-hmm.
But anyway, all right. Thanks for coming back to episode 22.
Thanks for hanging in there. Appreciate it. Always happy to have you. And for any new listeners, super duper happy to have you. Hello.
Yes. Hi. Welcome.
Welcome to Royal Malarkey.
Don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Or drink the Kool-Aid we make.
Yeah. It won't kill you.
No, it won't. It'll just make you love us.
Yes. It's a love potion.
It is.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You can find us at
RoyalMalarkey.com. Check out our
Twitter,
Instagram,
Facebook.
You can also find us on YouTube.
You can find us at our new network, Aversion TV on YouTube. Yes. So please go give us a like and subscribe and give us some comments on the questions we put out there or anything else you want to comment about. And if you are a steadfast podcast listener, please go rate and review us on iTunes.
We love you too.
It keeps us in business.
It does.
So, all right. Well, we will see you next week, episode 22 with Charles the Simple.
Yep. Toodles.
Bye.